Coming up on Good Morning Longhorns, a new era of leadership begins on the 40 acres. We're breaking down the changes.
And hundreds of students signed a petition amidst limited access to a campus lab. It got the attention of UT. More on the changes coming.
Plus, a beloved tradition called off this year. Will there still be a chance to see our boys in burnt orange this spring?
And later, we're live with TEDx UT Austin's Vice President of Curation ahead of their biggest weekend of the year. You won't want to miss it.
And finally, it's Mardi Gras. Our crew shows you fun ways to celebrate right from your apartment. All this and more coming up right here, right now on Good Morning Longhorns. Good Morning Longhorns for this Wednesday, February 26th. I'm Gracie Kirshner.
And I'm Caitlin Guyevich. Thanks for joining us this morning.
The weather has been so beautiful this week.
It's been so perfect.
It's been the first time in a while I'm like, okay, now I'll actually really enjoy going to class.
Total mood booster.
I know. The serotonin levels are skyrocketing.
Right?
We begin this morning with federal layoffs. They've been widespread in recent weeks as part of the Department of Government Efficiency's effort to reduce waste, fraud, and abuse. The National Park Service has lost thousands of staff, including rangers, that had been in their new positions for less than a year.
Kristen Jen, a ranger from Denali National Park and Preserve in Alaska, recently renamed to Mount McKinley, had just received her permanent job offer when she was told 2 days after the inauguration that it had been rescinded. TSTV News sat down with Kristen for an extended interview, which you'll be able to read later this week on tstvnews.com.
The cuts aren't just happening at national parks. In Boston last week, the John F. Kennedy Presidential Library was closed after 5 staff members were fired as part of DOJ's continued efforts. The library reopened Wednesday with reduced staff, but questions around what other presidential libraries would see layoffs began to arise. TSTV News reached out to the LBJ Presidential Library right here on campus, and they said in an email statement that the library is continuing to operate with no staffing changes as of now.
Over 500 demonstrators gathered at First United Methodist Church Saturday to hear from educators, legislators, and religious leaders advocating against school vouchers as part of the Save Texas Schools rally. Speakers included Congressman Lloyd Doggett, AISD school board member, and teachers, and students enrolled in public schools in Austin. The demonstration, which needed an overflow room because of the high turnout, culminated in a march to the state capitol.
And back on campus, the UT system named a new interim president and provost last week. This comes after former university president Jay Hartzell announced in January he would be leaving UT at the end of the academic year to become president of Southern Methodist University.
Let's bring in our Shreya Vianathan to break it all down. Good morning, Shreya.
Good morning, Caitlin. UT's Board of Regents announced James E. Davis as UT Austin's interim president last week. A day later, Davis appointed current dean of the College of Natural Sciences, David Bout, as his interim provost. Davis graduated from UT in 1996 before attending Harvard Law School. He worked under Attorney General Ken Paxton before becoming UT's Vice President of Legal Affairs in 2018 and then Senior Vice President and Chief Operating Officer at UT in 2023. One student we talked with said the events following Hartzell stepping down were chaotic, but that new leadership could make things more efficient.
I feel like there's a lot of changes happening very quickly, with all the new staff he's trying to put into the office and everything. So I feel like things may happen more quickly than they have in the past with Hartzell. So that might be good or bad for the community, who knows.
In an email to the UT community, Davis said he is honored to serve as interim president and thanked university leadership for their support. He also expressed his thanks to Provost Rachel Davis Mercy, who had served as interim provost and executive vice president since August and was also made permanent provost in January. According to a university spokesperson, Mercy plans to return to teaching full-time. We'll continue to report on university leadership as it progresses. Back to you, Gracie.
Thanks so much, Shreya. Leadership isn't just changing at the Tower. It's election season for UT Student Government, which hosted the debate for the Executive Alliance positions Monday night.
Candidates campaigned for the reallocation of the student government budget, improving financial support for student organizations, holding more town halls, and improving communication.
Voting in the campus-wide elections will take place from 8 a.m. on Monday, March 3rd to and end at 5 p.m. on Tuesday, March 4th. To check if you're eligible to vote in the upcoming campus election, check the voting FAQ page on the Office of the Dean of Students website. Students are taking university matters into their own hands after the university changed sewing lab hours at Gearing Hall. The labs now close at 5 p.m. on weekdays and aren't open at all on weekends. With the Capstone Fashion Show coming up, this has affected designers' abilities to work on their projects. In response, students created a petition and the textile department has responded. The department says it's actively working on a solution. Here's what textile students told us.
I know I was working for something in flat pattern, and then like when the first like real project started, there was like all the construction, and then I think I tried to go on like a weekend and it was closed. I think it was like Sunday or something, and then I walked in Monday and they were like, oh yeah, all the labs were closing. I'm like, cool.
The university says it will provide further information on their solution. UT students now have more options when riding across Austin. Cap Metro started service for 2 new rapid lines Sunday as part of the city's transit initiative, Project Connect. The Rapid 800 and Rapid 837 lines will offer service east of I-35, with buses arriving every 20 to 30 minutes. The Rapid 837 line has a stop on campus near DKR. Construction of bus stations along the route is expected to be completed in 2026. Until then, riders can expect some stops to have temporary stations.
Nationwide, many have been receiving text messages claiming that they have unpaid toll charges. These texts are specific to a person's state of residence. Some texts invite phone users to follow a separate link or reply to pay to the overdue balance. The FBI has investigated and confirmed the messages are fake. You're advised to report them as junk.
People in Hays County are also on high alert after the Department of Health announced a potential measles virus exposure, specifically at Texas State University. Officials are warning individuals who were within Texas State's inner campus on Valentine's Day from 3 to 7 p.m. and those that were in a Twin Peaks restaurant near campus from 6 to 10 p.m. that they may have been exposed. The individual was also at the University of Texas San Antonio campus and the Riverwalk the following day, February 15th. The health department is contacting individuals believed to be in contact with the measles patient.
Brighter medical news back here in Austin. UTMD Anderson and Texas Children's Hospital announced a joint venture to end childhood cancer. The initiative aims to get children into more clinical trials that enhance the availability of innovative treatments. With more than 200 pediatric oncologists and over 100 clinicians and researchers, care will be provided to children diagnosed with all types of cancers. Care is set to begin in early 2026.
It's not often you see elementary and middle school students on UT's campus, but this weekend over 10,000 came to the 40 acres.
Our Logan Dubell takes us inside STEM Girl Day, an annual event aimed at empowering young girls in science.
On a typical weekday, this auditorium at UT's Burdine Hall is filled with oftentimes sleepy college students, drinking lots of Celsius to stay awake. But this Saturday, the only Celsius was negative 196 degrees. The temperature of liquid nitrogen used by the UT Physics Circus as part of STEM Girl Day.
When you say the word engineer or scientist, it can feel a little intimidating. And sometimes kids think that that's maybe not a space for them.
But there was space for the 12,000 who registered, with over 180 activities to explore across campus.
Have you guys heard of electrons before?
The program started 24 years ago with just 90 girls. From building circuits to watching explosions, kids watched on as Texas Science put its top-ranked programs on display.
You see that spark in their eyes, that excitement, and really that's what we want here at STEM Girl Day.
A sparkle you can see for these 8-year-olds.
The science fair is coming up, and I think that'd be a good idea to be here and learn a lot about STEM.
And similar excitement from this future scientist who first-year graduate student Jewel Ashbrook says is part of what connected her to this day.
When I was younger, I grew up in small-town Nebraska, so I didn't see a lot of women in science. I didn't see a lot of scientists at all. So I think it's really important, especially at such a young age, for them to see girls up on a stage and doing science experiments and know that they can do that too when they grow up.
For the thousands who rolled onto the 40 acres today, it's a message of empowerment that they too can get involved in the STEM field and let their light shine. Logan Dubel, TSTV News.
Thank you, Logan. Campus Events and Entertainment's Culture Shock Committee is hosting The Cookout this Friday at Gregg Plaza from 6 to 9 p.m. The event commemorates Black UT's 1997 picnic gathering and will be the final event in Culture Shock's Black History Month lineup.
Students can use their ID for admission into the celebration that will be full of music, games, and free food. And when we come back, our Caroline Salinas is in the Weather Center to talk about those sunny skies and warmer temperatures making a comeback this week. Your local forecast is next. Welcome back to Good Morning Longhorns. Is spring finally here? The frigid temperatures we have felt last week have finally dissipated.
To dive deeper into your forecast, joining us on set is our Caroline Salinas. Good morning, Caroline.
Good morning, and good morning, Longhorns. We're definitely seeing a shift away from the colder temperatures of last week into warmer temperatures this week with some sun. Today, we can expect cloudy weather with a low of 56 degrees and a high of 76 degrees. Over the next few days, we are predicted to see a bit of sunny weather with partly cloudy weather on Thursday and a high of 69 degrees, sunny skies on Friday with a high of 70 degrees, and partly cloudy weather with a high of 75 degrees on Saturday. Sunday, we will have cloudy weather with a low of 52 degrees and a high of 72 degrees. There is no rain predicted for this week. Austin can prepare for a week of nice temperatures and a break from the freezing temps. Be sure to go outside and enjoy this nice weather that this week has in store. That's all from the Weather Center. Back to you.
In sports this week and very early into next week marks the end of regular season play for basketball. So here's an update on both teams. The men's are struggling to finish the season strong, losing to South Carolina 84-69 on Saturday. Their next game is tonight at 8 at Arkansas. At this point, their March Madness probability is on a game-by-game basis.
But women's basketball is on a roll, reaching #1 in the AP poll for the first time in 21 years. The Longhorns beat the Georgia Bulldogs Monday night, dominating 57-26. Their second to last game is tomorrow at Mississippi State at 6:30 p.m.
Both Texas women's and men's swim and dive teams won their first SEC championship over the weekend. Regardless of conference, the men won their 46th consecutive conference title, and the women won their 13th straight conference title.
The men's team broke Florida's 12-year SEC championship streak, beating them by nearly 150 points. Both teams had a dominant performance over the 5-day meet, breaking many school and SEC records.
And speaking of champions, the UT Austin men's hockey team has won their region and they are headed to nationals. UT defeated Cal Berkeley, Providence, Montana, and Colorado Boulder to make it to the final tournament.
The national tournament will be a 16-team round robin held in St. Louis on March 14th. Senior Barrett Ott said, "This is the first time ever being able to attend the national tournament and represent our school on the national level. We'll cover that tournament once it gets underway." While there's more action ahead for hockey, you'll have to wait until the fall to see football back on the field. The orange and white game has been canceled this year. On the Up and Adams show, Coach Sarkisian said, quote, "We've played 30 games over the last 2 years, and that's a lot for college football," end quote. We talked with some students about the cancellation.
I don't think it's a huge deal. Yes, I would have liked to see, Arch a little earlier as the starter, but I'm sure we're going to get a bunch of him as the season really starts and really kicks off next fall.
I attended the orange and white game last year, and I was really sad to hear that it was canceled this year.
This game had served as an opportunity for fans to catch a glimpse of the upcoming football season showcasing new talent. It's unclear whether the game could return in future years.
In international news this morning, Pope Francis is in critical but stable condition, according to the latest update from the Vatican. The head of the Catholic Church has been hospitalized for over a week, battling double pneumonia. His respiratory illness has not gotten worse, and while he has mild kidney insufficiencies, there is no major concern over his well-being. The 88-year-old Pope was also able to resume some of his duties Tuesday. Supporters from across the world have gathered nightly to pray for the Pope's health at St. Peter's Square in Vatican.
Also abroad, law enforcement in the United Kingdom pressured Apple into allowing the government access to their users' data. This comes 2 years after the tech company introduced a new encrypted storage feature that protects user data. Rather than complying with the government's request of giving backdoor access to the storage, Apple has removed the feature entirely for all of its UK members. The company hopes this will pressure the government to reverse their request, as this move could lead to other countries accessing user data. The British government has yet to make a statement on the matter.
Speaking of lawsuits, Stanley Zong is suing the University of California and 5 other UC campuses, as well as the Department of Education for racial discrimination. You may have heard of the Palo Alto teen who gained national attention after getting rejected by 16 colleges, but then was hired by Google as a software engineer. Zong says the lawsuit is for fair treatment for Asian applicants. Notably, one of the only 2 schools he was admitted to was the University of Texas at Austin.
After the break, TEDx UT Austin's Vice President of Curation, Austin Dornack, joins us in studio to talk about the 8th annual conference, happening this weekend here at UT. Stay with us.
Morning Longhorns, when you're surfing YouTube, you've likely come across TED Talks. They're globally focused speeches promoting a variety of ideas. TED's videos have nearly 3 billion views on YouTube, and the nonprofit was founded back in 1984. Well, in 2017, UT began its own conference, and the action returns to the Hogg Memorial Auditorium this Saturday. We're joined now by Austin Dornak, TEDx UT Austin's Vice President of Curation. Good morning. Thanks for being here with us.
Yes, thank you, Logan. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, so big week for you guys. It's the 8th annual conference here at UT. Just tell me a little bit about what you're excited for this weekend and what people can expect.
So we have 8 amazing talks for you guys. We have 13 showcase groups and 36 artists this weekend on Saturday. So what you'll be hearing is a bunch of different talks from education to entertainment to art. And at the beginning, we have an interactive showcase where you can talk to different startups like Perplexity AI, Notion, and Gayarki Yerba Mate is giving out free yerba mate, so that's another incentive. You also can get a free conference t-shirt, free lunch. There will be some stage performers throughout the talks. And afterwards, feel free. It's open to the public. We have an art gallery with UT artists and community artists showcasing their work.
Going to be a great weekend for everybody. So tell me a little bit about what goes into planning all of this.
Yes, so we have a great 36-member team of all students. I'm VP of Curation, and what I do is find speakers through applications and through our community, and we work on curating the talks and getting them stage ready for Saturday. And obviously we have a lot more behind the scenes with finance, logistics, communications team, creative team, productions team, things like that.
And let me ask you a little bit. Everybody is very busy as students. Tell me a little bit about why you feel like they should take time out of their weekend and make sure that they're there.
Well, it's a great time to change your perspective. Our theme this year is What Now? And we're really playing into the greater TEDx organization's change from ideas we're spreading to ideas change everything. And so if you're in the mood for a little perspective shift or want to hear some new ideas and kind of refresh, I think this is a great opportunity for you to come.
Alrighty, well, y'all know to check it out. Thank you so much for joining us this morning,
Thank you.
And you can check out their site on Instagram and purchase tickets. It's $25 for students for the conference happening this Saturday, so make sure y'all are there. Thanks for joining us again.
Yes, thank you.
All right, coming up, our very own Paulina Pearson and Itza Martinez are joining us here on set to talk all things Mardi Gras. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Good Morning Longhorns. It's been Mardi Gras season since January 6th, and it goes all the way until Fat Tuesday, which is next Tuesday, March 4th.
We have Paulina here to show us just one of the things that makes this season so special, the food.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. Mardi Gras means a lot to me as someone whose family's from South Louisiana, and as a Catholic, Fat Tuesday symbolizes the day before Ash Wednesday, which is the start of the Catholic season Lent. But it's so much more than just a religious holiday. Parades and events take place all around the country, and while Texas doesn't celebrate it quite as well as in New Orleans, we still do have some great traditional treats. So I brought with me today a king cake, and it's from H-E-B because I wanted to put that, Texas spark on it. And H-E-B had like literally 10 different flavors of king cake, so we all chose strawberry. I'm very intrigued by the strawberry, so y'all can just go ahead and start trying it. It looks so good.
I've never had king cake before.
Hey, neither have I.
I'm really excited.
It's so good. It's like the best kind of cake in my opinion.
This is such a full circle moment, Paulina, because freshman year, this is how we met on Good Morning Longhorns.
We did, yeah.
It's a Mardi Gras. I was way bigger back than you.
Cheers, y'all.
Yeah, I know it's a little early for cake, but
no,
it's like a pastry, basically.
Oh yeah, that's so good.
Really good.
Oh, that's really good.
I always thought king cake was more of a cake, whereas
It's like a pastry.
This one is a little bit more of a pastry, but I'm not upset about it by any means.
I also brought some coffee grounds from Cafe Du Monde. I was gonna make them, but y'all just need to go try it yourself. It's so good, and they call it Cafe au lait, and you put it with like some milk, and like it's literally so good. So y'all can keep digging in, but I'm gonna go through some Mardi Gras facts. So the first Mardi Gras Carnival was in 1699, which was organized by French colonists in Louisiana. And the tradition of throwing beads dates back to the Renaissance times. The king cake got its name from the 3 wise men in the Bible who gave baby Jesus gifts at his birth. And that's why there's baby Jesus in the cake. Y'all, okay, so when I got this cake, it came with this little baby on a crown. So I don't know if we were supposed to put it in there, and so I'm hoping, but also it usually doesn't come on this crown. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Usually the baby Jesus is just in there.
It's usually just in there. So I don't know if I was supposed to put it in there.
Maybe there is one in there.
I mean, maybe
we
gotta keep digging in.
Do we want to do a little?
Paulina, how does this king cake, the taste of it, compare to the more authentic ones?
So they're definitely better in Louisiana, I will say. I went to Lil Easy last week, which is like the New Orleans-based restaurant here in Austin that opened not too long ago, I think a couple months ago. And I actually asked them about their king cakes, and the waiter there was from Louisiana, and she was like, the best king cakes are here, the best that I've been able to find in Texas. So I definitely want to go try it, but the H-E-B one was just intriguing me with all the different flavors. So
yeah, I really like the strawberry one. It's delicious.
Yeah.
So that's all we have for this Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Gracie Kirshner.
And I'm Caitlin Gajevich from our Good Morning Longhorns team. We'll see you back here next week. For campus news, you can follow us on Instagram at Good Morning Longhorns and check us out on our website at tstvnews.com.
Bye.